Geek Climber is a legendary figure of the calisthenics world, and if by any chance you don't know him, then I don't know where have you been. Geek Climber is a normal guy, father of a daughter, I believe. One of the most important things when it comes to his journey, he's a mathematical god. He will count you every single math equation. He will find the answer why you cannot front lever. I'd say it like he's a little bit similar to me. He likes to talk but not act.
Wow, get to act yourself.
Then he's a climber.
Wow, we didn't know that's the next.
And then lastly, for some time he was a calisthenics athlete. To make you more familiar with the Geek Climber strength, I won't say anything because I'm not really familiar with the difficulty ratings in Geek Climbering. You have, for example, 3As, 5As, 7A, B, C, D, A, F, G, 5.
You and your mom and your sister and your job.
I remember him climbing comfortably, for example, 5A. Basically, I'd say for him, muscle up should be super easy. When it comes to the one-arm pull-up, a little bit of effort he would need to put into the training. He was not that strong, like Magnus Midbo, for example, I'd say. Yeah, then front lever, he's also pretty short, so it should be not a problem for him, especially if he's climber. You know, climbers, when they're all the time climbing like this, like Spider-Man, they are super strong. The more problematic part will be push strength. Of course, they will have some. Most of them, I believe, lack in pushing strength, and so it was the same case with Geek Climber. Geek Climber had handstands, planche, handstand press. It didn't go as planned. And sadly, it didn't go as planned only with the push skills, but also with the pulling skills, which is really crazy, man. Geek Climber, mathematical god, you know,
He can solve every single equation, find every answer, and still.
Just so you know, I will tell you now a couple of numbers. This middle-aged guy learns the one-arm pull-up in 390 days. He sadly doesn't have a video from his front lever journey because he never really learned it. He stopped progressing, I believe, somewhere around holding like 5 seconds of straddle front lever. So possibly we can take Geek Climber as an example, or like proof of that the short guys can also be a little bit like messed up when it comes to leverages or something. Or maybe Geek Climber was just dumb and he overcalculated it. What he has to do. This average guy learns the muscle up in 335 days. Slow muscle up in 23 days. And then lastly, ring muscle up in 21 days. Anyways, no matter what video you will watch, they will always repeat like 2-3 biggest mistakes. The first mistake is the lacking mass. Second mistake, Geek Climber most of the time tries something without finding out knowledge or like how to do it. And if not, then it still doesn't matter. Oh, I watched a couple of handstand tutorials, a couple, not just one. And then the next shot,
I changed my head position to look back and it still didn't work.
What idiot recommended him to do that? Third mistake is trying multiple things at once and skipping progressions. Okay, so 4 mistakes. Multiple things at once. It is really like obvious if he was training for the handstand press 730 days. He wasn't just training that handstand press. He was doing something in between that. And even the climbing. He pre-exhausted himself in the climbing and then he went to try handstand press without the needed strength for it. He should have had start with doing basics, because if you want to do handstand press, man, handstand press is really taxing exercise. Geek Climber, if you are watching this, send me those tutorials you watched. What idiot recommended you to look through your shoulders while you're doing handstand press? I know that no one really puts an emphasis, I believe, most of the time when he does a handstand press tutorial on that you should create like a triangle from your hands and of the point you are looking at. Fuck it, I'ma look through my shoulders back. I believe I yapped a lot. No, I've become another yapper, Skibidi Ohio Giat Sigmaris, for real.
Let's stop yapping around and let's get into the video finally.
They said it. Front lever. Handstand in 156 days. Handstand press in 703 days. And front lever? Still nothing. And sadly we won't probably live up to the day that he would finally hold it. Sad as be.
Then he pulled out mathematical god equations and what for, man? You don't have to be an Einstein to learn a front lever.
Which leads us to the first and the biggest mistake. You don't have to have big muscles to be able to do skills. Well, when it comes to the planche or front lever, you don't want to fight the gravity by fair play, because it will be almost impossible. So in order to make skills way easier, you need to cheat a little bit and do the famous strategy of skipping legs, because your center of mass will move a little bit up, which means the lever will be much easier. Yeah, Geek Climber is light, but his center of mass is quite far away. And so for him it would be best to forget about strength training, because after more than 10 years of climbing, I really thought that there is a much bigger carryover from, I again wanted to say geek climbing, another discipline, geek climbing, from climbing to calisthenics, but apparently not, man. 10 years for 300 days journey to one arm pull-up. Nice. Yeah, I know that a lot of you guys commented that there is a point at which more muscle mass will actually hurt you more in like statics. Yeah, but I believe Geek Climber was far from that point still. He should stop using math and physics for everything. Yeah, it's good to prove his theory, but if he would rather focus on training the front lever, he could already achieve it by now, after 1 year. Yeah, I remember seeing those videos where he tried to make his arms longer to prove that with longer arms it will be a lot easier. Like, nice, but what for? You could have spent that time on actually training the front lever and make it happen. But no.
I will prove everybody that they are wrong. If you have longer arms, it is easier.
Handstand.
I injured my finger from climbing, so I decided to learn the handstands.
Imagine that scenario. You somehow injure your finger.
Oh, I'm gonna learn to do handstand. Well, you definitely don't use your fingers.
That's a really good decision when in handstand you are using your fingers too, but okay. Typical beginner mistake. This is literally the worst way how to start training handstand. See, freestanding handstand consists of basically two exercises. The kick up and the handstand itself. Why you are trying to kick up into something you can't even hold. So the best way how to train handstand is by doing handstand against the wall. Put one leg in the air and then the second one. And of course this is pretty much the safest way how to learn the balance, because you can't pretty much fall forward. Okay. Never when it comes to Geek Climber, never say never.
I will never say never. I will fight.
Not in Geek Climber's case. I take that back. Another big mistake is not using fingers. And again, you saw that chart of Geek Climber sitting on the sofa and watching tutorials. In what tutorial? The guy won't tell you to use your fingers to really like bend them and bend them quite a lot to be able to push hard with them. You are constantly switching between pushing with your fingers and palms.
I tried back to wall kick up to handstand, but it didn't work.
Well, that didn't work not because of the exercise. I just explained it.
I changed my head position.
Can somebody tell me what idiot told him to look back?
I decided to get real with myself and set two intermediate.
And by the way, what he meant by it didn't work. Firstly, what was the goal with that exercise? Build strength or learn the balance? Like, he wasn't really trying to balance it without the wall.
Huh? And you see, these are such a beginner mistakes, and this
happened in like 2020 or 2019. Millions of tutorials.
The first one was to able to do a headstand.
There's no point of learning headstand. I could do a handstand for like 30 seconds, but I couldn't even do a headstand. Well, not the same way like the woman did it here. That's like learning a frog stand before trying to learn a tuck plunge. Like, you can, but what for? Frog stand is a skill that you will essentially get in your journey without even training it.
When I did back to wall handstand, I was unable to open my shoulders, so I could never balance myself.
You don't have to bother too much about shoulder mobility, because you can do handstand even without it. It will be just a little bit harder. I remember him showing us a video of him struggling to do either 10 or 20 push-ups, clean ones. So why are you trying to do handstand? I know that for handstand you don't really need that much of a strength. I said it many times, and it is true, like, kids do it all the time, and they definitely can do 20 push-ups, I believe. It is just that the strength will give you more room for balance, and it will obviously easier. Like, yeah.
I needed to find an experienced spotter to spot me, so I could be upside down for a longer time and learn to find the balance point faster.
Well, that's why you should stay doing it against the wall and practice the balance there. I don't see a point of bothering another guy when you could do the same thing against the wall. Simply, I don't know what handstand tutorials Geek Climber watched, because either they were really bad or he was just sleeping during them and missed all this information. Tuck plunge, nah.
How in the world is a top planche a given? I can't be the only one that feels this way.
Okay, we'll skip that. We'll skip this because it is essentially the same case and it's not really that interesting. Tuck planche is a given exercise when you are doing calisthenics for some amount of time and you have a push strength. You can do handstand, you can do tuck press. No one starts his push career, let's call it that way, by doing tuck planche. Of course, then it will be hard exercise.
The handstand press.
Okay, here we got those
I
push-ups.
thought about goals like doing 20 push-ups in a row. But honestly, that's a boring goal.
But very important goal, because otherwise you will learn the handstand press for 700 days.
The pike push-up is the first exercise to work on. The pike push-up looks easy, but it is actually incredibly hard to do it right.
You see,
And seeing it right now, he tells us that doing 20 push-ups, and we saw those push-ups, they went like super keen, and he had a couple of extra inches in the rep range left, unused. Oh, well, that's easy. That's easy. Geek Climber strength. Step 1, pike push-ups. What is hard on that? You said something?
It is actually incredibly hard to do it right.
you see, but doing 20 basic push-ups is boring. Alright then.
I rush to do exercises with higher intensity, such as the elevated pike push-up or the chest-to-wall handstand push-up.
Oh, you see that, guys. Tell me, am I the only one who thinks this way?
Firstly, he cannot do even properly 20 full range of motion push-ups. He cannot even do correctly pike push-up. He cannot even do correctly elevated pike push-up. And he still goes for handstand push-up against the wall. Common sense. Error 404 not found. Sorry, Geek Climber, but this. Yeah, you can say it. Oh, Zdenek, he's just a Geek Climber. He's a normal guy, father of a daughter. He's working out for fun. He doesn't have the same knowledge like you have. But yeah,
But this is common sense. You don't do a harder progression when you didn't master the previous one.
this is not some heavy knowledge. But wait, this is not the end.
Or the chest-to-wall handstand push-up.
Can anyone tell me, why would you learn handstand press by doing handstand push-ups? Why would you use harder exercise to learn easier move?
I was constantly in a cycle of doing exercises with high intensity that my body wasn't ready for, getting injured. I experienced injury in my wrists, shoulders, triceps, and serratus anterior.
You saw that. Why he was looking through his shoulders back. What for? What he was looking at. What he was looking for there.
And all this because he skipped basics.
Training non-optimally is still better than zero training.
I experienced injury in my wrists, shoulders, triceps, and serratus anterior.
By the way, what he said, how he exactly said it, like, not optimal training is still better than no training. Well, if you have a lot of cash for visiting the hospital every single week, then yes.
Stage 1 is being able to do 20 to 30 reps of push-ups, which will get you automatically like 5 pike push-ups, maybe, I don't know. Stage 2 is mastering pike push-ups. Stage 3 is doing these tuck press pumps.
These are really good ones.
Stage 4 is pressing into the bent arm handstand. And then finally do the whole move in the stage 5.
By the way, the ultimate first step is to be able to do handstand. And I'm not really sure if at this point he mastered the handstand.
I was finally able to.
Why is he looking backwards? Why is he looking backwards? And lastly, the fact that he trains press just with 10 seconds handstand hold is really silly because 10 seconds means pretty much nothing. 25 to 40 seconds, that's when you can say that you have pretty much mastered the balance.
So this was his handstand press progression, and I'd say that every other video similar to this, like front lever progression and planche progression, went in the same style. I believe he just wasn't willing to put the work in needed for learning these skills. Front lever, one arm pull up, well, he got it, but I believe he lost it again. And maybe even transfer more of his focus from climbing, because I believe still in between those videos he was climbing like regularly, like he always did. His last calisthenics related video he uploaded is training with elite Taiwan calisthenics athletes, and I was really hyped when I saw it for the first time, like, yeah, you will finally show us his front lever. I found out immediately that he acted there just like a camera guy, not really showing himself, and just overall the video was pretty boring. sorry, Geek Climber. After that, just some climber stuff, nothing calisthenics related, if you don't count climbing like calisthenics, which is the question, is climbing calisthenics essentially? And even on his Instagram, he just posts climbing videos. So I believe it is definitive. Geek Climber, the legend of calisthenics, gave up on his calisthenics dreams, and he won't come back. Never ever again. This is, guys, what happens when you use too much of math instead of common sense. So if you are not good at math, don't be sad about it, you don't need it. Alright guys, thank you for watching this video, and if you want to support me a little bit extra more, I create membership through which you can support me. It's only $1, so I will be glad even for that $1. Every dollar counts, man. So yeah, I'm just saying. And if you like this video, you can also check out this one, which YouTube thinks you will like also, so I will see you there. So click on it. Bye.